This is the Kpopcast. I'm your host, Stephanie, and after 4 years, BTS is finally back. So this episode, we're doing a deep dive into the comeback of the decade, Arirang.
Yes, and this is DJ Peter Lowe, and we'll share hit replays from the album, react to Swim, and discuss the Netflix livestream concert. Oh, and welcoming back our special resident army, wife of Suga, aka Virginia.
Woo,
Mandarin Mama. Welcome, Virginia.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me back. Thank you for coming back. And this is your PD Nim Michaela, guys. And before we get into everything BTS, don't forget to join the Kpopcast listener fam on Slack and help chip in for the show costs. Links to everything in the episode description. Also, big shout out to our girl Dina for her last contribution.
All right, let's dive into Arirang. So I think we should get started by setting the stage of like how significant this is in K-pop history, in global pop. Just like how big of a deal is this? And for anyone who doesn't know who we're talking about,
right,
or why, do you know BTS?
Do you know BTS?
Do you?
No.
See, that's a pickup line right there. You know, you can be a member of BTS, go up to someone and just be like, do you know who BTS is? And
that is Suga's pickup line. Or that was his from the, what was it, the Billboard?
Yeah.
But, you know, in fairness, it is a fair question, right? Because there are baby K-pop fans who are entering into the scene who are maybe Gen 5 K-pop fans and have never seen a live comeback of BTS as a group, and this may be their first time. Or maybe
they're K-pop Demon Hunters fans, that whole generation who don't really know K-pop outside of that. They could be learning about BTS at this very moment.
Or they're old head first gen, second gen, early third gen fans like us that maybe dipped out after 2017 or
yeah.
and haven't been keeping up with BTS, but maybe keeping up with everybody else.
So, you know, what's the headline? Like, why is BTS such a big deal? What's so special about him?
Oh, are we going to get in trouble by saying they paved the way?
We've said that so many times on the show before. And we're still broadcasting.
Mm-hmm. I would say they paved the way. I would say this era they would also say they've charted the course, as it were, overseas. And from taking Hallyu from Korea to the US to the greater globe in a scale that had never been done before, and in a way that almost established literally them as the biggest band on the planet, period. And that's just looking at their numbers, that's looking at their presence globally, and then just like consciousness. Like, if you don't know anything about Korea, we say, oh, do you know BTS? And most people would say yes.
Then you know Korea.
Mm-hmm.
I think like what's worth noting about BTS, like if you're learning about them for the first time, is that they had their origins as a real underdog group and at the very beginning of the Gen 3 era of K-pop. And
2013.
In that time. And they started introducing a lot of like subversive like commentary in their lyrics, you know, criticizing I was going to say silver spoon, like, you know, those who like, you know, came from privilege and the school system and power dynamics and just a lot of things in culture that was challenging the status quo and that K-pop hadn't done before. Following that, they had like a meteoric rise. I think a lot of like K-pop journalists refer to like the 1 year that they performed at KCON, and you could see the crowd reaction to BTS out of all of the other artists. And that's when a lot of the other journalists said like, oh, this is something, like there's something that's about to happen here. So there was that immediate I think I want to say that was like 2015, 2016 that there was that KCON performance, and then following that they started making all these like Western penetration efforts, and I think that was after Wings. What was the album right after Wings? I'm totally blanking, but it was right after that period that they started making all these like Western oriented English songs.
Yeah. That was the beginning of Love Yourself era.
Love Yourself.
Yes, Love Yourself. Yeah. And with that, I think we had just new records being set, new precedent being set.
Yeah. And
did we
and
lose
that,
Virginia? Is Virginia still on?
To your point, Peter, like
I'm just listening.
How they were able to do that was in how they set themselves apart, right? Like, because they were underdogs, but so they were also using all these different methods to try to, get to different spots of the market that they really didn't have access to because they were oftentimes blacklisted or pushed out by what was bigger companies at the time. So they were able to rise because they really honed in on these parasocial connections, right, with their fans, using whatever new platforms, whatever new methods they could, especially YouTube and then later V-App, these ways where they were really humanizing themselves and being able to create these connections with fans across the globe, which again at that time was very new and had never been done on that scale before.
So where we find ourselves now in the year 2026 is this comeback. So if you didn't already know, in Korean culture, I'm sorry, like K-pop fans already know, it's not culture. In Korean requirements, as a member of the male gender, you're required to serve 2 years in the military service because North Korea and South Korea have not actually formally ended the Korean War. It's persisted to this day. There have been I'm forgetting what is the actual technical term, but like more or less a ceasefire, right? So the nation, the state, still has to have an important body of military members, and a part of every male's patriotic duty is to spend 2 years in the military once they reach a certain age range, and they're required to do that. For a lot of K-pop groups, it's been a huge disruption. Like, it's right at the moment when they're hitting their stride, and they had to like kill that momentum and go serve in military service. So we're kind of seeing that with BTS, and they've all gone off to the army at different, slightly staggered years. But now, at the end, what is it, in 2025, they've all completed their service, and this is the first moment with them all coming back together. And that moment of them all coming back together is commemorated with the release of this new album. So Arirang, am I saying that correct?
Almost.
Someone say it correctly.
Arirang. Slightly rolled both of the R's.
Okay. So correct me if I have this wrong, but this is just me like recapping some research. So it's Korea's most iconic traditional folk song, widely regarded as the country's unofficial anthem, and it's believed to have originated during the Joseon dynasty.
So it's hell old.
Yeah, I have a wide range here between 1392 to as early as the end of the 20th century, so 1910. And it comes in hundreds of regional variations and symbolizes cultural identity, resilience, and unity. Named after a traditional folk song of longing, separation, and eventual reunion. The album transforms that century-old melody of heartache into a modern anthem of a generation that has waited, grown, and now celebrates. And so this album finds itself, again, describing this. Okay, that's very nice, Audrey. So this album finds itself in the center of a 600-year folk song tradition about longing, sorrow, and resilience. And Arirang, I'm sorry, I'm just saying it again.
No, you're good.
Is used as a framing for BTS's deeper cultural roots in the midst of global collaboration. The very first track of the album, Body to Body, is a percussive statement about the power of the stadium concert of togetherness. The beat gradually shifts from an electronic beat to an acoustic one. As the Pansori style singing in the bridge, Arirang comes in. and then fades out. So it's starting the ancient and the new tradition in. This again builds off of that military departure and return. So I think it's like, we've been away from seeing the boys for more than 2 years, and now we get them coming back together, much like in Arirang. Sorry, I mispronounced
Almost.
Yeah.
One of these days.
Sorry.
Yeah, and if I could maybe put it a little bit more into a cultural perspective of like what
Yes.
Arirang almost represents for Korean people, I'd like to. I might be off, and you might correct me on this one, but I like to compare the song Arirang almost to like Lift Every Voice and Sing. Like it's one of those songs where it's like it's culturally meaningful to the nation, though it's not like the official like anthem of the people or the societal anthem of the people, but it's culturally heartly like what people feel as like the Han, the Jon, the things that connect Korean people together.
Yeah. And so when the name of this album was released, I think a lot of us were really excited. A lot of us have heard of the name Arirang. Those of us who have been especially fans of K-pop and Korean culture for a while, we've heard this song. We know, maybe we know the TV channel, the Arirang TV program that would share K-pop and K-culture with Western audiences. And so we have this really positive association with the word and the concept already. And I think it really drummed up a lot of excitement globally that, I'll just jump right in. We can start our free-flowing discussion, right? That from the perspective of me, like a long-term BTS fan, long-term K-pop fan, seeing the direction that BTS's music went like pre-pandemic to stuff like Dynamite, Butter, which was like so Americanized.
Painful.
So painful for some of us, right? Yeah, Peter, you talked about their beginning, their roots being like using hip hop to make like biting social commentary about Korean specific societal issues, critical analysis, and then seeing the direction they ultimately went to, right? Really westernized, really Americanized stuff. It kind of made me as a fan like hesitate and not fully trust or have faith that they were going to, give something that I would enjoy or resonate with. And so when they named the album Arirang, my interest was piqued. My shoulders like relaxed a little bit with some relief. Like, I don't know if any of y'all resonate with that.
No, I did not.
Oh, yeah. So please, if you want to like share your first impressions. Go ahead.
I mean, I thought it was, I joked to a bunch of my friends that like, oh, I bet you that they're going to say that the only Korean-ness is because they are Korean.
Ooh.
So anything they do is Korean.
Dang.
It's sort of like when people ask like, what is masculine, what is feminine?
Sure.
And basically it's, if you identify as male, whatever
Then
you do
anything you
is
do
masculine,
is
right?
Sure.
So that's, I was like, oh, are they going to go that way?
Well,
And that was actually their response to one of the answers. I forget which interview. I think it was the Rolling Stone, one of the interviews, and the answer was, well, and this was before the album dropped, and I started laughing so hard. I was like,
oh man,
knew it.
Yeah,
I knew it because I was like, okay, because I've heard a lot of rumors and a lot of like industry gossip, like, hey, they were trying to go back to their roots. They want to go more hip hop. They want to go back to like what makes them essentially BTS.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, that means they're gonna lose pretty much so many of the. I'm gonna say it. The white pop lovers, right? Like the people who came in through Dynamite and Butter, which I don't
Permission
mind,
to Dance.
and Permission to Dance, which is a travesty to your ears. Like, please keep this Ed Sheeran slop out.
Dang.
Like, so I was like, if they're gonna go pop, which the majority of the U.S. audience knows them as, with the exception of maybe Mic Drop, they're gonna chase away all their moneymakers because this is, and I know from what I've heard that they've lost a lot of like Black Army in particular because of their embracing, so to speak, of like
the white pop sound.
Yes, and again, nothing wrong with white pop. Just be honest.
And these,
just say you want.
Yeah, these were
just
Black
say you
fans,
want that money,
right? That came in because in early BTS career, they made a point too when they were doing hip hop and they were representing this culture to show that they are respecting it and not just appropriating it. Like going to LA,
American hustle life,
studying under the OGs in the industry in this culture.
Warren G, Coolio.
Yeah. Wait. Just for the benefit of the listeners who are newbies, like really just quick. Do you want to describe what that is? The hustle life.
So
TV
American
shows?
Hustle Life was BTS's like early kind of challenge reality show. It featured all 7 members of BTS going to Los Angeles
2014
in 2013 and
a very
experiencing the
premise,
hustle
by the way.
life, the hustle culture of early rap people in LA, early rappers, and doing anything from like working side gigs at like hotels to shooting a music video in like the hills, like doing experiencing all those parts of culture that are the origins of the hip hop that they saw when they were in the Korea.
Some scenes of the show did not age the best.
Hell no.
Some of the fashion, some of the interactions, but I think so many of us fans like wish that today's K-pop groups might do something similar because like how are we in 2026 and K-pop idols are still being caught saying the N-word, being caught wearing braids in their hair? How are we here? Like,
how is Cortis still in business?
And
I like Cortis's music, okay? But.
Yeah, exactly. So BTS, a year after debut, 2014, went on American Hustle Life and had a really transformative experience of like actually building relationship and cultural exchange with pioneers of American Black hip hop.
And then they threw it all away for money.
Well, I don't know if they threw it all away, but
to your
they
point,
just made
they
a strategic decision, right?
We do have some kind of metrics that shows that or at least a vibe
that they lost some,
that there weren't as many, or at least Black American fans that were down with the sound that BTS had after they broke out in the Western market. And and I don't want to mislead.
I don't want to mislead it as BTS HYBE has that internal metric. I'm sure they do. I just mean like what you can see
online discourse.
Twitter, and like the discourse and my own. I'm obviously not Black, but like I have my friends who are Black and tapped into this, and they tell me the tea, and I'm like, oh, really?
do you guys want to like touch on really quick the comeback teaser in the sorry?
Yeah. Right.
To bring it back.
to bring it back, since we are kind of sliding into a discussion about BTS's relationship with Black culture and Black fans, unfortunately, with the rollout of this huge comeback that we were all so looking forward to, an unfortunate teaser video was released. It's like the worst timing, the worst stepping in it moment they could have had. BTS HYBE put out a teaser video promoting Arirang using a historical fact, like a fun fact tidbit, that the actual first audio recording of the folk song Arirang took place on the campus of Howard University, historically Black college, not just any, like the Howard University, the most well-known, most prestigious Black university in the United States. It was recorded by, they say, 7 Korean young men who had fled from Korea, who like couldn't find a place to take them in other institutions, maybe white institutions didn't want them, and they landed at Howard and recorded that song. And so there's a photo of those members that, you know, HYBE made this whole teaser connecting the dots between that history and BTS's comeback today. And the really unfortunate part about it is in the video, they showed an animation of the recording or the performance taking place at Howard. And if you look at the crowd of the animated figures, it is like 90% white people on the campus.
There are like 2 black people.
There are like 2 black people in the back
Yes.
of the animated crowd. And so it's like, for me, and we can just like jump in with our reactions, but for me it's like, you might as well have not used this historical fact at all.
Exactly.
Like, if you're not going to deal with it tastefully, it could have been a home run, but it ended up being a slap in the face.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
It
they
ended up
tried to
feeling
cover
like a betrayal
themselves
moment.
with the little disclaimer at the front being like, this is not necessarily meant to represent actual literal history. It is an interpretation of events, blah, blah, blah.
That
Still,
doesn't
and
make it any
yet-
better. Yeah.
It is someone's purposeful interpretation.
Yes.
Like, there's a
Well-
reason why they think the crowd looks better when
Yeah.
it has white people in it.
Yeah.
I think there was probably the original message wasn't passed along. Like, I think there was probably the initial concept, right? And
Yeah.
like they were probably going to be like, oh, we should deliberately connect it to, like, you know, Black culture.
That's so cool.
This thing. And then probably as the notes got passed down the production pipeline to like the animators, like they didn't know, and they're like, well, let's American University, okay, let's just like blend it here, and like, you know, they don't have like maybe the animators, the storyboard artists, they had no recollection, and there was probably no check for maintaining that continuity throughout. So a true travesty in production.
I mean,
But,
if even I noticed,
yeah.
right? Like, I was like, wait, oh, then maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're not depicting Howard.
Yeah.
I was like, wait. Well, then what was
not
the
Howard?
point? Like,
Right.
the whole
What's
point,
the point?
right? The whole point of this is that the 7 Korean men fleeing imperialism from Japan found no safe harbor in America because America,
Like xenophobia, racism.
right? And then, you know, I'm sure the xenophobia contributed
Yeah.
to it, right? Like
Especially at that time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially during that time, right? The Yellow Peril.
Yep.
And the only people that welcomed them and gave them a home were Black people who have also because they have experienced this particular type of racism and you don't belong here-ness.
Exclusion.
Yeah, like, so that is the reason why Howard University welcomed them and gave them like a platform, and it's particularly disappointing because Aliens references that, right? Like,
Right.
and
Right.
so a lot of people have said like, oh, you know, the same thing that Peter said, like, oh, maybe the notes weren't passed along to the animators, but like, you are doing this on purpose. Like, you chose this moment in history, so that should be in the notes, right? Like, this is not an incidental thing. It's not like, you know, unless, I mean, you could argue that if you do not understand what a historically Black college is, then maybe something got lost in the like translation. I will give you that.
Yeah.
But I will say that people who say like, oh, it's only the animators or it's just the company, it's not BTS's
No.
fault. Like, you know, okay, maybe, but if BTS is going to be saying like, hey, we had control over all this stuff, we are now in charge of our agency, we are not agency as in the company, but agency as in like
Yeah.
self-propelling,
Autonomy.
right? Yeah, autonomy, and like then, and they had final approval on things. You can't have it both ways. You can't say like, you know what I mean? And maybe they didn't notice, right? Because
Yeah.
they're trained, you know, everyone is kind of just like they literally whitewash history. And so, okay, sure, maybe they didn't notice, but if they specifically wanted to connect it to a Black, like the most famous Black university, then come on, like. So yeah, you can't have it both ways. BTS is like independent and in charge of their own stuff, and also, it's not BTS's fault.
They don't have a say in anything.
right? Like you know, like choose one and be consistent.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're
I
so
mean,
right.
I want to. Sorry, I'll always go out on the limb and be like the company apologist more often than not.
Don't get me wrong. I love HYBE.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy HYBE. I do think they're one of the better companies. I do think that, like I do, but I also think it's like, it's not even so much of the reality of the situation is how they position themselves.
Of course,
Right?
yeah.
Like if you're going to
Yeah.
position yourself as, oh, we have all this autonomy, we have all this final
Then
say,
don't
and
underdeliver.
then don't.
Don't overpromise, underdeliver.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you say, hey, we are, like, if they PR'd it more like how they do the thanks on like Weverse and like, thank you to all the staff who came out, thank you to all the like people who helped us with this, we couldn't have done it without you, like the flotilla of people that surround them.
The flotilla.
Right? Like in charge of hair and makeup, all that. If they acknowledged that, then we'd be like, okay, we get it. It's a part of a huge
but
machine.
Peter-
There's so many things.
But
What
even
is your
with the,
what is your PR apologist?
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
let's
I
hear
was
it.
going to say even with that like flotilla, right? Of like you know the ensemble of all these different departments at a bigger company. It's just getting increasingly harder of like all the checklist items that you need to culturally consider like worldwide, like, you know, to get used to. Like I am not going to defend like this is a pretty glaring one, right?
Yeah.
And it should have been prioritized.
Sure.
But I think that's probably why it was lost in translation of like this is a thing that needs an important message that needs to be
Yeah.
maintained.
Yeah.
Okay,
so far
so-
the rollout to the Arirang comeback was kind of rocky when this teaser came
Little
out,
rocky.
right, guys?
I will say in general, I didn't. I know that a lot of K-pop, longtime like BTS fans, especially like immersed in like K-pop culture, and I think I might be misremembering, but like I know a lot of K armies were like really disappointed with the rollout because they're like, oh, they're moving like Western artists. They're not doing blah 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 blah, and I'm like, okay, first of all, you can't be like bitching about them needing rest and then bitching that it's not.
They're not doing all of
They're
this,
not
like,
doing the K-pop
grassroots
shit,
in the
right?
street.
Yeah.
Right, moving like
Like-
Western artists in the sense of like they're not going to music shows. They're
Yeah,
not doing
right.
all these typical things we think of as like for a
K-pop.
K-pop idol
Right.
group
Promo.
promotion for a comeback. Instead, they're doing a live performance for Netflix and then flying to New York for Jimmy Fallon and then just going to go on tour.
Yeah, and then like it's
Yeah.
like you can't. Come on, people! Like, what the fuck do you want? You can't just like be all like, BTS is not K-pop. It's bigger than K-pop, and then bitch that they're not moving like a K-pop idol group. And I'm like, you again, choose a fucking
It's
lane.
not worth their time. Yeah. at this
choose a
point.
lane. Choose a
Yeah.
lane.
That's
Yeah.
no, you're so right to name that tension between what the fans want.
Yeah. And we can talk more about the media strategy here in a little bit. But I want to move us into the hit replay. So as we were talking earlier, that this is a return after, this moment of longing. And now we have reunion. And we get that
Army
old
wives.
and new
The
Army
Gumushin?
wives.
Is that what it was?
deprived army wives, men from the military coming back together, tension being resolved. But so I want to, I don't know where I was going with that. So I want to take us to our hit replay song recommendations. And actually, I want to ask that Stephanie go first, just so we can go and then
Oh yes.
given Stephanie's hit replay
All right.
request. So what's your favorite song recommendation off of the album, Virginia?
Yeah, from the
Stephanie.
Arirang 14-track
Yes.
fifth studio album of BTS.
Yes.
Yes. My favorite track is track number 1. It is a crowd favorite. It is a global favorite. It is Body to Body.
You're speaking of real life. 맞추면 따져 내려놔 않나. I've been 좀더 가까이 와 skin to skin. I need somebody to body. All of your body beside me. 다르게 손에 손. 너와 나 we on and on. Yeah. Sunrise but we don't go home. Somebody like you. Eh. Somebody like you. Oh. Somebody like you. Eh. Somebody like you. Somebody like
Body to Body. I'm just gonna like,
Yeah.
yeah. Why I love it, first of all, is it encapsulates that spirit and includes an actual sample of Arirang,
Yes.
the song.
Yes.
Because I was into it for the beat. I was like, okay, thanks, Diplo. I was into it for some of the melody. I'm like, okay, Ryan Tedder, like, I hear you. But then when it moved, when I heard, like, in the distance, Korean instruments, when I heard the Pansori, like, swelling,
Right in the bridge. Right. Yeah.
right at the bridge in that last third, like, I feel chills, like, coming up my legs now, even talking
Same.
about it.
Ditto.
Like, there is something in that song, and there is something in how it is performed in its Korean traditional folk format with those instruments that just strikes a nerve. It hits me right in the heart, in the soul. When I saw them perform it live, I teared up.
Oh.
I cried when the camera moved to the
Yes.
tradition of the Pansori singers, the
Yes.
artists.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this.
I don't know if the camera can see it, but I have like goosebumps on my arms.
That says something.
Yeah.
It says something. And for them to start the album off with that bang, ooh, I couldn't ask for more. I loved it.
Almost every Korean reactor was like sobbing. Was like crying. Was like tearing up. Like
Yes.
all my Korean American friends.
Yeah.
All the gyopos out there. They're like, I had to cry. You can't.
Exactly.
And I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
because there is a version of it where they could have done a little bit more experimental approach, and it could have been like a remixed version of Arirang and with like different, like, I don't know, trap beats or whatever. But it does say something, the fact that they, instead of like integrating it with that sound of pop culture, they just kept it as the genuine sample of what
The original.
of the gugak, of the Pansori sound of what it what it
True.
is.
But yeah, like, but I think they actually do remix it, so to speak, right? And maybe it's not at the same time, but you have this like, what was the name of that movie that I haven't seen that K-pop Demon Hunters beat out at the Oscars? Sinners, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, like there was this like you know, there's this scene in, I think, Sinners, and I haven't seen the movie, but I've only seen the video clip of like them like showing the evolution
Yeah,
of
the
like,
Ancestors clip.
black music and like how it's
Yeah.
evolved into all these different
Oh,
things over
yeah.
time. I kind of get that same vibe with like Body to Body, like except it's kind of going in maybe the opposite direction and then back to the present. So like
Yeah.
with Body to Body, it starts with this like very modern electronic beat, and it's got this really good as I was describing earlier, it's got this really good progressive style in a modern sense. And it's such a good like opener song, like if you were to like perform at a concert, like this is what you open with.
Yes.
Like, you know, like the curtain rises, like it's
Yes.
the perfect song for that. And then you still have that like beat continue, and then you hear like the drumming, like you're just like, I think Michaela, I think, was describing earlier, that slow sample in of the original Pansori singing and musical style, and
And the
it
drums.
feels uninterrupted. You know, you feel that thread continue right into the bridge, and then right after the bridge, it's like the return to the present, like, you know, and it's just, I don't know, just so poetic, and like every layer of it, it just. It doesn't like it doesn't compete
Peter's
with
just, like,
itself, you know. It's like just
letting
a
it flow
perfect
over him
mix,
with it.
like, you know,
Yeah.
like beginning to like the composition in terms of the progression of the song is perfect.
Yes.
The way it's mixed and mastered, I just love it.
Yeah.
And like Diplo, like I don't know how much like Diplo materially contribute to this song, but he's got like such a good track record in K-pop right now.
right.
Like I want more Diplo joint K-pop collaborations based
He's a
off of
perfect
this.
fit
Like,
in K-pop.
Well,
Yeah.
minus his problematic
I don't want to hide that either. Yeah.
But
right.
yeah, but I've read online, like on like Threads, I think, or even I can't remember whether it was Threads or Zitter, but but like people have compared it to like Negro spirituals, like that same feeling. So it kind of ties into what you were saying, Peter, about like that sinners scene, and it's just such a it's so good, but like even it's it's such a like filthy song, but also
True.
like
Sensual.
The lyrics.
like when I think this is the song where HYBE opens with "It's so tight," and I was like, I choked. I was like, "Are you shitting me?"
What is tight?
And then he's like, and then his clarification doesn't make it better. His clarification is,
I mean,
the space between you and me. And I'm like, oh, this is, And then
The funny thing is, like, body to body is meant to like be parallel to the lyrics in Arirang, where it's like we're going hand in hand, where it's like which is a
You know
lovely moment of like people just coming together, but no,
And,
they're really like coming together.
And I was actually kind of,
Inside. Penetrating something
All right.
is what we're getting at. Okay.
Okay, but before I forget, and before we move on from this song, PD Nim, you mentioned Hand in Hand.
Yes.
And I definitely want to bring up a little Easter egg and comparison between this song to another Korean historical significant song that marked Korea's like entry into the global stage in the 1988 Summer Olympics, which were hosted in Seoul. The official theme song was called Hand in Hand, 손에 손 잡고. And this song, performed by a family group called Korean-ness, who I didn't really know about them, and shout out to someone named Gwanghwamun on X for going into the history of this song. The Olympic theme song, Hand in Hand, really has been used since that time in Korean events to bring out that nostalgia and that cultural pride. Like, yeah, we are somebody. Yeah, like the world knows who Korea is now. Like that song brings that up for them. And so lyrics, Hand in Hand, are featured in Body to Body, right? And notably in an interview talking about this song, RM said, I hope that this song, Body to Body, becomes like Hand in Hand. 손에 손 잡고. We hope that it's this generation's 손에 손 잡고. And so just want to like tie that together. We have the connection to Arirang, like the OG,
Right.
and we have the connection to more recent cherished history.
I can't remember if we said this when we were talking about the Arirang in general, but it's like a song about like yearning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes,
And so
right.
it's often between like lovers. I think I've
Separated.
Yeah. There's a novel coming out in June by Korean American writer Isabel J. Kim called Sublimation. And it is the best fucking book I read last year. Find this book in June. And so, but she uses this myth of Arirang. These lovers are separated by a sudden flood, and then they sing Arirang to each other. And I've also heard that like it's supposed to represent the weaver girl and the shepherd boy, and how every 7 years they finally meet on the like the Milky Way, right? Like that's an Asian myth in general. So like so it's a really important opener because one, it's just such a powerful opener, but it's also saying like, hey, this is our longing and it's over. Right? Like we're together now. So
thanks for sharing that.
yeah.
If I can say one more comment about Body to Body, clearly
All right.
it's like the hit replay for all of us. Is probably the
Right.
best song off the album. The other thing that part of makes it so, maybe not for Michaela, but part of what makes it so good is that if you look at how each of the voices of each of the individual members of BTS are used in this track, it's like each of their strengths. To me, it feels like. And maybe in other places it might feel forced or like it may be outside of their comfort zone. I think in this, there's like no single moment that I'm going to skip. Like every single moment is an earworm, like the pre-chorus, the verses, the bridge, the post-chorus, everything.
You're so right.
Yeah. All right.
I could hear clearly
Okay, so
Jin
first-
and Jimin specifically on this track. And I was like, oh, there they are.
Michaela, defend yourself.
All right.
Okay,
Or
so the
I was
first
gonna
track, we
say-
sealed the Honmoon. Okay, whatever. But
Yeah,
there
great.
are other songs
Yes.
on the album.
Sealed the
Please hit it.
Yeah.
Is it?
I would
Yeah,
like
you're
to go
next,
next.
PD Nim.
Sorry.
Go for it.
So,
Go.
Please tell us.
my hit replay from the Arirang album is Hooligan by BTS.
Hey.
Because it represents how incredibly unserious and disruptive they are to everything.
Yes.
I can never ever choose. Every one of you amuse. Crowd looking like a campus. Beat dropping, dancing. Watch this beat go and hooligan. We pop out, we acting a fool again. Hooligan. Watch this beat go and hooligan. Love is space, not stop it so wrong. Trapping lower than chop the screws. Hooligan. Watch this beat go with hooligan.
But yeah, so it was produced primarily by three people. Many people, what is it? The fake Guido, Jasper Harris, and the main producer, El Guincho? I believe you pronounce it that way. Sorry, that's where my Spanish fails me.
Yeah.
But Jungkook was also mentioned as one of the members that was kind of like the BTS member that was the main producer for this track. But it like I said, it's part of that first half of the album, which is very much in their bag of like hip hop BTS, which I feel like we are all fans of. And so, of course, this song was going to be one of my hit replays, but this one specifically because the concept of Hooligan being, again, this like social disruptor, and BTS being like, hey, we are so powerful. We're going to come in, forget your Western hegemony, forget whatever. We're here to F up your system. Yeah, we trended a song that was just a bell gong on your Billboard charts.
Number
Be mad at
11.
it. Ha 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 ha. We're gonna laugh in your face if you say anything, because this is just who we are. We're while yes there's a like very serious like, you know, Korean soft power, geopolitical, whatever. But at the base of it, they're just like 7 Korean dudes having fun, being artists, making music, connecting with their fans. And I feel like that's kind of the heart of Hooligan for me, as well as just a lovely little bop to shake my ass to.
It is a bop.
Hey.
I have to say, the first time I heard it, I liked the beat. I hated the ha 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 part. I thought it was like, so...
No, see, I love, because, you know, RM, I feel like that his little SpongeBob laugh gets me every time. I love it.
Well, it's actually all three of them. They if you listen to it throughout, the mix of whose voice stands out more during the ha 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 part like changes. Like
Yeah, I hear Suga one time.
yeah, Suga's near the end. I think I thought it was HYBE mostly at the beginning, and then I think RM's at the end.
But for me, I feel
Rap
like it's
line.
closest to RM's natural laugh, you know?
oh, his like
Yeah.
yeah, but it was really disruptive, and I didn't like it. And also, HYBE isn't rapping on the beat.
Right.
He's like slightly ahead of it, and it was
He's like-
really jarring. And it really, it was the song when I first heard it. I was just like, I like it, and I want to like it more. But it was very like, I don't like it because it's just like it's not hitting in the pocket. It's like
Need order.
yeah, and I was like, oh, I wonder if that's on purpose because
Yes,
Yeah.
because they are hooligans. They
Right.
are disrupting your
Right,
system.
we break the rules.
yeah. I will say I like the live mix better because the ha 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 isn't as like loud. You know, and it's
fair
but the
enough.
choreography
It was really fun. Oh, the choreo.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Loved that. That was swagged out to the max.
I'm gonna say it's probably the best hit replay. Maybe second to Body Body, but whatever.
Okay,
guess
so,
so
like,
Virginia.
All right. So isn't this like the third track?
Yes, it is the third track, so I
Wow.
think it worked out very well.
Okay.
This is the third track. It's at the 25-minute mark, 26-minute mark on the Netflix special because I have seen it so many times.
Oh my gosh.
And it is Aliens.
Oh my God, do I look too funny? Just move for me, yeah, move for me. From the ghetto to the hot, or the baby, now, yeah, we aliens. If you wanna hit the house, you better miss a line, yeah, we aliens. Awesome, 그래, shameless. Yeah, it'll try to aliens. And then don't joke, it's a rising. Aliens, aliens.
And it is on my reaction video, I like burst out crying, like just sobbed because I was, like I said, like when I first heard that it was going to be Arirang, and then I heard that it was going to be like a more pop album, and I was like, oh God damn it, we're going to get more of this bullshit. But it came out so hard, like, right? We have the Body to Body, then Hooligans, and then you have these like, it's produced by Mike Will Made It, plus Donut and Khaled Rohaim. And it's just, it's talking about like how they were treated, they're made to feel like aliens, and they're made to feel bad about who they are. And the opening verse, like, Suga is just spitting. And I'm just like, I don't understand a word you're saying, but you're mad.
But you're mad.
And like, you're talking some shit. So that, and then the flow, and then the hook coming in, and like, oh, HYBE just coming in like the cuntiest cunt. And you're just like, yes, auntie. And then, because doesn't HYBE just always look like the rich auntie? And then, and yeah, and then there's just so much play on words. Like Suga again opens with like referencing TikTok. He's talking about time, but of course they're also like talking about TikTok and how TikTok has made famous all these like musicians who really aren't actually musicians, and they like the shrinking of how songs went from like 4 minutes to 3 minutes, and now it's like under, like just barely under 2 minutes, or just at 2 minutes, and it's just like, it's not even a song, it's like a chorus, it's like a hook, chorus, hook, bridge, hook. That's all you get for like 2 minutes. And then they have like so many like play on words, like HYBE says like, hello, this is your new honey, and like you think he's gonna say his like shtick of like, I'm your hope, you're my hope, I'm J-Hope, right? But it's like a kind of a riff off of that. Like RM references Kim Gu, who is like the leader of the Korean independence movement against like the Japanese occupation. One of his like, I think, major speeches or something was talking about how he doesn't want Korea to be mighty and big on like power and military. He wanted Korea to be known for their culture and their beauty, and I think that's why they reference him. And also, but it's like, it's just so fucking like, yeah, we take our shoes off and you know, like,
all these
it's just
things.
so swaggy.
Yeah, and then RM has my favorite line in the whole album, where everybody knows where the K is. Like in this conversation about with BTS and like, are they K-pop? Blah 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 blah. He's like, we're Korean.
Yeah.
This is where the K is. Like, this is
Right. Contrary to what y'all might have thought when we were putting out Dynamite and Butter and stuff. I'm putting words in his mouth.
right.
This song was so satisfying to just hear them affirm their Asian cultural identity, their Korean roots. Like, if you come to my house, you better take them damn shoes off. And Jungkook say that. And some folks are speculating that aliens, like that use of that term is a direct pushback against like Trump and ICE
Immigration.
and xenophobic immigration,
The
like
Hyundai
that
thing.
kind of yeah, right. So
and
there's a
Atlanta.
direct Korean connection to immigration enforcement in the US, like very high profile news story of the Hyundai plant workers being arrested, like humiliated, and sent back to Korea. So yeah, some folks are speculating that there's a political message to this of like, yeah, you can think that you can call us aliens, but y'all want to be like us, actually.
Good.
So yeah, great choice.
I'm all for subversive commentary and lyrics
Hey.
and stuff, right? It's a good thing to their
And
audience.
so
yeah.
those hit replays are really solid choices, but I think we got to hand it to Peter, who ultimately picked one that is just head and shoulders
Okay,
above
so-
all of our choices.
Right. All these other songs, you know, you're going to be studying for weeks, right? But I'm actually going to give you the one that's like really going to keep you up at night, you know, questioning like, oh, did this mean that? And all these sorts of things. This is the one to put all your theory videos behind. I'm referring to number 29. You should look up color-coded lyrics on this one.
The lyrics.
And we all need to get those songs streaming to get it charting even higher than number 11 on the Billboard.
Let's hit number
charts.
one.
Yeah. All right. So in RM's own words, this track, number 29, is the resonant tolling of the divine bell of King
Songdak.
Songdak, designated as South Korea's national treasure, number 29. So if you didn't know, again, like, you know, pull this song up. It starts with a gong playing that bell. And, you know, again, that bell's resonance is a symbolic heritage center transition point within the album overall, kind of smack dab in the middle. And if you listen to that track, you kind of hear it like reverberate on. And like any musician, right? Like any musician will tell you that when they're trying to like listen to a single note or a sound, they're listening to the oscillation, right? Like this is like physics, right? Like any note, if you were to look at it as a visual waveform, it's like this like wave up and down, right? And you see that, you hear that up and down wave pushed out to the extreme in this track. So it starts with that very acoustic dong, and then you hear this like undercurrent that's artificially put in. Oh, there it is. Okay, so underneath that you start, and I don't know if the Riverside Fidelity is going to capture it. This is where like having really good headphones matters. But you start hearing the bass line push itself in into the track, and that bass line almost sounds like you like plugged it into like an amplifier or jack.
Yes.
And so it sounds even more distorted, but you hear that oscillation in the bass line. And then you also start hearing, where is it? Around 25 seconds in, you start hearing the sounds of like waves or the wind
ocean
blowing. And then around 50 seconds into the track, you start to hear the sounds of the waves of the beach coming in and out. And I just want to say this is like the track overall is kind of like a song of meditation. Like if you need to like, you know, really like, I like if you, have you guys ever like gone through a tasting menu and you need like something to like reset your palate? Like this is kind of that song in the middle of the album. And so it kind of resets your palate. It makes you like focus and meditate. And it's a long, extremely long exhale. It's like you're forcing all the air out of your lungs, and that takes a long time. And you're doing that over like however, like this is a minute and a half long track.
138.
138 to set you up for the next song. And the next song starts the very like first 5 seconds of the next song, like what number 29, like it has all the frequencies like at the top and it draws out.
Yeah, it descends.
It descends, it goes down, and then the very first 5 seconds of the next song, aka the title track, you have all those sounds coming back up. So that's a detail to listen for as we go into the reaction. So let's take it away into our swim reaction.
We are going to be reacting to the title track of the Arirang album. It is BTS Swim. And so if you want to react along with us, pull up that YouTube video for Swim. I'm going to give us a countdown of 3, 2, 1, play, and we will watch together. 3, 2, 1, play.
Compass.
The sounds
the
of the
swim
ocean.
compass.
You got a white girl in this music video?
Ah, yes.
You know, Stephanie and I were talking about
Brittany
this beforehand.
Murphy?
I was just watching this, and I was like, I'm already
She does
in.
look like Brittany Murphy.
I know this is like esoteric symbolism, but I'm like so for it, like with the ships and things.
I'm not for the white girl.
Me neither.
She's
And the weird dancing.
Here we go.
from Riverside.
Now we're inhaling.
Yeah.
Riverdale.
Riverdale.
I love this.
Captain Jungkook.
Very 80s inspired, but like I love the synths underneath.
Is it?
Yeah, the synths are nice.
Boom.
I mean, because the 80s is
deep
the
synths.
pirates.
Yeah.
I thought they went cowboy lately, though.
True.
Cowboy.
They stole Monster
Space
X.
Pirate.
They gave up the pirate theme.
All right, so we're charting the seas. We're now going into the hip
Familiar
hop
beats.
percussion. Yeah.
Morse code.
Morse code says love.
Oh, really? Of course. Of course, Army have found that out already.
And
She's
all their
reading
like
the
book
normal
references.
book.
Yeah.
Just
Normal.
looking for a
It was
boys.
a wedding dress. Is that the wedding dress hanging on the wall?
Maybe.
The way he stalks her.
The way he stalks.
Except Virginia wants to tag in.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
See, they're all like they're disconnected, but they're longing for each other, searching for each other.
Yeah.
Are they pirates or are they?
They
They're
don't look like
navigators.
pirates. They're pretty clean cut ship's crew.
Yeah.
Have you seen the joke on
I love
online
her
how?
dancing body control. This I love. The seven
Yeah,
spokes.
it's very.
Mm.
They joke that once Suga starts rapping, she starts taking her clothes off.
Wouldn't you? I would, yeah.
She's got
Seriously.
good body control.
Is that what that was?
Hush. Okay. Again, longing,
Yeah.
looking for a reunion.
Seasick. Oh. Just
Yeah.
turn around. Yeah, so that's a clue that she can't see them. They're watching over her, but maybe they're ghosts.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
I would also cry if I could feel them but not see them.
I love this.
I love
This is the best scene right there. That was the best scene.
The acting.
so
Give all
hot.
of them the Oscar.
I don't know about that, but give them something.
Apparently, it was really raining, so that water is not in effect. That was just.
How did her kitten
Organic
heels
now.
not get caught?
Oh, the kitten heels, yeah.
She is very pretty though.
Yeah.
Yes, gorgeous.
It's just one in a long line of white girls starring in his videos.
Seriously. So hot.
The
Well,
ship is named Arirang.
you know, RM has mentioned that BTS is like 7 people in a boat going the same direction but looking different places.
He has mentioned that.
And I've seen other theories where she
I just love this beat.
she's
the
been waiting
credits.
she's been waiting for them to come back. And then they're there and then like
Yeah, but listen to these synths. Like these synths.
Yeah.
Like this is my favorite
They're
part
really
of,
nice.
of the track. And
The chords,
like what we're hearing right now is the bass line, the bass synth.
the bass.
But there's this like do 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 like a arpeggio sort of like of it gives this feeling of like being underwater and like seeing the light
Yeah,
ripple
yeah.
in
When-
like
yeah.
so these there are things you can do in like music composition that give you these like visual elements, and I think that they
Yeah.
nailed it. And what I am most sonically reminded of is Gorilla's Plastic Beach, which is
Oh.
another kind of like, well, if you were to like read the analysis and interviews around Plastic Beach, it's like this feeling like, oh, the world's kind of going to shit, right? Like, plastic is everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And it's sort of like making peace with like the dystopian evolution of the world is what Plastic Beach is all about. It's like, yeah, this is kind of shit. We see plastic up on the waves and the sand and in our bodies and in our fish and in our microplastics in our diet and everything. But like I've just made peace with it. And it's that cold dissonance from like, dystopia that I kind of feel in the underlying, like, you know, beat and harmony in this song. I think it takes that dissonance, and then it's also this feeling of longing that I'm getting with Swim. But Swim, next to number 29 and next to Body to Body is a really good track for me, and I love it from BTS.
Right.
It was also very surprising that instead of Body to Body, that this was the title track, right, of the album, because of that.
Surprising.
That, you know, it's you know, it's kind of, you know, it's a little boring.
It's understated.
It's very understated.
It's not
At least
explosive.
compared to previous title tracks that they've had before. Like even Jimin said that when they were talking about it. They were like, you know, BTS is finally coming back after 4 years. You know, this is the group you know from songs like Butter and Dynamite, and their new song is Swim. Like,
Swim. Yeah.
Swim. But I do think it makes 100% like sense why it would end up being the title track, even though it's not what was expected. It's perfect for this album and this era for their comeback. I think it's
a more mature choice.
It's BTS.
Maybe,
it's the song for the title track for BTS in their 30s is what they say.
Huh.
Yeah. I was thinking that, by the way, like this song and other songs on the album, and then watching the Netflix concert,
Yeah.
I was like, this is on the opposite end of Idol, where Idol is the peak demanding, like,
Scale,
physicality.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of, like, you know, Idol is another good curtain raiser song, right? Opening song. But you're winded when you're dancing to it, right?
Yes.
And then with this, it's like we can now perform this in our 30s and our 40s. So
The choreo is very simple.
Yeah.
You spend time like lowering yourself down to the ground.
and it just requires more like deliberate, like lean forward listening.
Yeah.
Whereas like maybe these other songs, they kind of assault you that you don't necessarily need to lean in as much. So
Can I say one last thing about the visuals though of the music video before we move on to the
Sure.
is again look going back to that slowness in the choreography, that slowness in the sun. You see that in the editing of the music video. Like everything's very slow takes, very long takes. I feel like that was also really nice to see and kind of set them apart, especially from the third gen comebacks that we've had so far this year, like Blackpink, EXO. Their music videos are very like quick cuts,
True.
visual effects, fire, blah.
Yeah.
This is very almost simple in that way, where it's like it's just them on a boat with Brittany Murphy
And a white girl.
and they're
and pulling ropes. And like, you know, sailor
I mean,
outfits. Like,
I'm not going to say it wasn't very expensive to shoot this. Again, it's all practical effects with on location with, you know, whatever other actual crew they took to man the ship.
I think it was
Right,
in
because you know they're not
Portugal.
the actual crew.
It was in Portugal, I think.
Portugal.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But I said it was a nice, again, like a nice low cortisol moment.
yeah, I can like kind of relax and watch this. Yeah.
And if there was CG, no, if there was
totally.
if there was AI,
Yeah.
we can't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was done more tastefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sure. Yeah, there was times where you couldn't get all of them in the same room to film.
Sure.
You needed to film, you know, superimpose one of them in the back.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Shall we shift to the live concert?
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so the live officially. So the BTS performed at Gwanghwamun, in front of Gwanghwamun Palace on the King's Road for their return to the thing. And so this was a record-breaking live performance, not only for the city Seoul. They were estimating around 200,000 people were supposed to attend this live event in the middle of the city. But the final numbers, or the final estimates, even though we've been getting conflicting reportings from different sources, we know for a fact 22,000 people who had free ticket holders were at the event. It was around 42,000 actual people at the event physically.
According to the
HYBE
police
says Yeah, according to the police, according to other reporting, HYBE says it was like 104, but they're taking into account like other metrics of like telecom users in the area, people who were traveling, immigrating into Korea for the event, things like that. But Netflix, I think, had the biggest stake in the numbers in this one because it broke their previously held record for a live streaming event. Before, it was 106 million for, what was it, the Jake Paul
Oh God, yeah, the fight.
Yeah, the fight between him and
Completely different cross section of society.
Wow.
yeah, and then
I wonder the overlap in viewers.
There is
Well,
none.
I mean, and then
There might be.
for live performance concert events like the Beyonce, the Christmas
I see.
Beyonce Bowl, she had
Oh,
around
sure.
200
Climbing
million.
Taipei 101. Yeah.
Yeah. For this specific stream, the final number for most people watching the Arirang live concert was 300 million global viewers.
Jeez.
So completely blowing out all these other metrics.
I'm not sure that is the number of people watching at the same time concurrently. I think it's total views, like including people who
Well,
watched
yes.
it delayed. Not
Yes.
Yeah. But still massive. Yeah, comparing it to, for example, Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show had maybe around 130 million viewers. So Netflix swung for the fences on this, invested a lot, and yeah, it seemed to have been a smart play. And we could see, Peter, if you want to share some of
I
the
was just
promotion, the
about-
marketing strategy, like the
Right.
investment
So,
there.
so going into this, there were curtain raiser, what I guess we use in like PR speak, like the articles that your signature stories that you want to get out before the actual launch moment itself to sort of like drum up anticipation and start that media cycle a little bit early going into the launch moment itself. And in those like early pre-event interviews, the Netflix executives were talking about like, yes, this is like one of our biggest, if not the biggest, like live event moment of the year. Netflix is taking a big swing into like live programming in general. And this is probably their biggest swing for live programming. So surprisingly, like if you were to look at my own like social media feed and echo chamber, I would say that actually Netflix did a bigger publicity effort than HYBE Big Hit did. But if we actually look at the numbers, it's very clear that I am living in my own echo chamber and bubble because, I'm just going to try to describe this really quickly. But like if you look at pre-launch moment, we're talking between December 1st to March 19th, 2026. Oh God, how do I even describe this? So there's coverage focusing on just the album, and then there's coverage focusing on the concert. Within English media, it was about 50-50. So it was about like 50% for just the comeback overall, and then about 50-50, another half of that focus on the concert moment itself and the Netflix live programming. And then if you look at Korean media, it's about 50-50 there as well, but the bigger volume of articles. And then on social media for content creators and influencers, a lot more on the album and only 30% on the influencers. But what I will say is that, like, again, this is from my like limited vantage point of my own social media feed. Netflix was pulling out all the stops to curate all the high reach content creators and influencers and flying them out, to Korea, providing them with like care packages pre-event to help drum up anticipation, make sure people are like bookmarking and saving the event. And then where we are right now in post-launch, we're now seeing the feed of like people sharing all their posts and stories from their presence there on the ground at the event. And you can tell that Netflix had its own press and creator section at the concert itself, where you can see where everyone was like posting a lot of their videos from. But as far as like the media launch cycles go, from the Western perspective, to me it seemed like that Netflix was putting in a lot more resourcing, a lot more, paying for each of these bespoke activations is a considerable expense from like a PR launch effort. And then if you were to look at post-launch, Again, I felt like it was more for the Netflix, but actually, if you look at Korean media, it's it leans more like toward, I guess, about 50-50 for like, just the album as a whole.
Yeah, I appreciate that. What you're sharing highlights a interesting juxtaposition or maybe a kind of tension between the promotion like at home in Korea and maybe the reception at home versus the reception globally.
Right.
And the strategy being like global English media, America, maybe focused, even though the concert itself is like in the heart of Seoul and Gwanghwamun and like this culturally significant place right in front of the Blue House. The name of the album is Arirang, and yet in-person attendance was below expectations, possibly like 50% below expectations. Articles in Korean media are not all positive about the impact of them closing the streets and the revenue that the government might get.
You know what? Yeah. If we're going to talk about fucking paying the government of South Korea, let's talk about yet to come, that Busan concert that the government basically strong-armed BTS to hold and put on for free, and they were in the hole for so much of it. They didn't even have the fucking infrastructure in place for Busan for that many people. And then so HYBE covered all the costs. They changed the venue because Jin expressed concern about the safety of the attendees. And there was no like public transportation. Like people were jacking up Airbnb prices and hotel pricing. So if we want to talk about how much the South Korean government owes HYBE for like that concert, and then they can bitch about how little HYBE paid for this concert, but it's not like they didn't pay anything because Netflix covered all those costs. So I would like Korean media to take the stick out of their ass and shove it up their nose.
Yeah, we're hearing like skewed perspectives. Like everyone wishes, everybody who's commenting on this wishes that they had been chosen
right
over Netflix. The big three Korean broadcasters wish that they had access to cover and to own the rights and to like make money off of this event.
Yeah.
The Korean government wishes they were making more money off of this.
Then maybe you shouldn't have blackballed them.
Well,
maybe you shouldn't have given them shit green rooms and canceled them last minute. Maybe you shouldn't have been dicks to them on like public like broadcasted things, and then now you're all kissing their asses like, oh, if we had, and even be shameless about admitting, oh, we treated you so badly back then, ha ha ha, but now look at you, you're famous, thanks for coming on our show. Like if I were BTS, I would be so fucking petty. I'd be like, you know what, fuck Korea.
Right. Uh-oh.
Right.
And all of this to sum up in the interest of time.
Sorry.
It's just a very interesting, complicated picture of the relationship between BTS, HYBE, Korean government, Korean fans, the weight of this position that BTS has of like representing their country, like loving all of these different actors, but also trying to orient outside. So it's like all of the conversation about what BTS represents is like present in this microcosm of the live event and following the money and the tensions there. Sure.
But also it's like totally unfair, right? Because it's like how people of color are always expected to represent their entire people, right? And so to expect BTS to represent your entire country of 55 million people, that's really shitty. To expect to expect like, just any one of us people of color to represent our entire percentage, right? Like that's not a weight that we're meant to carry, right? And anyway, that brings into like, not all representation is good representation, but representation and the lack of representation is still very important.
So was this concert Daebak?
Ooh, Daebak or not?
The sound was bad.
So it wasn't.
Well, when did you watch it?
Well, right? Peter, when we saw it yesterday afternoon, I was like, what is wrong with the sound system?
Right.
And then, but if you watch it again now, the sound is much better.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah, I guess they
So-
edited. Yeah.
Yeah,
The sound
there
and the
was
subtitles are much better now.
yeah. The subtitles were driving me insane the
Oh my
first time I
gosh,
watched
yeah.
it because it would like show and flash and like you couldn't actually read it. So
Live subs are tough. Yeah.
maybe this is I think we're carving a new precedent, BTS paving the way once again for Netflix. So we're now seeing two versions, and this is in response to a fervent fan uproar of like, why are we seeing
Oh my
so
God.
many crowd shots and takeaways of like this
Shots
big
of
building?
buildings.
Yeah, and then
Right.
what is the anti-Jin bias? Of all the BTS members, like I'm not saying Jin is the best looking member out of BTS, but I'm also not saying that. And also like culturally speaking, he is what most people point to. Him and V probably are the
He
most
has
like
a huge fan base.
Right.
But, like,
So,
Is this in
anyway,
response to how corny
So-
he looked when he tried to put on that ski mask?
Oh my gosh. No, it's because
Balaclava,
they
yeah.
did re-edit things so that we could see the choreography
Okay,
more.
it's more
see
well
people-
distributed
Yeah, and,
camera time.
and I get it. Like it's so part of me gets it in the sense like, yes, live events are hard to do. Obviously, I should not ever do it. And if I were to, I should be fully medicated. But like this is also their job. Like it's not like they haven't practiced camera angles. It's not like BTS
Well-
hasn't practiced this like a million times and they don't know what is going where. They probably wore fucking signs on
And the
themselves.
show director,
Right? Like, he should have
Hamish
known.
Hamilton, directed the Grammys, the Super
Right.
Bowl halftime show, the Oscars.
Yeah, but what
So-
we're seeing is just a cross of paradigms, right? So like
Yeah.
K-pop fans, and this goes back to your point earlier, Stephanie, on like which lane are we picking? Are we picking idol versus K-pop?
Yeah.
But like K-pop fans have certain expectations for things that they want to see. I think the director was trying to illustrate like, look at the spectacle, look at the grandiose nature of like how much this
Look
is
at
like
the
taking
crowd.
Yeah, but
over,
even if
right?
it was Beyonce, I don't want to see buildings.
yeah,
If
fair
it's
enough.
Beyonce, I also want to see her hot body and face. Right?
And
Like,
I
I don't
think
care
that
who it
there's-
is. I want to
Totally,
see this concert.
totally.
Well, yeah, but you're a fan.
No,
I
I'm not
think
I'm not even a
is
Beyonce fan.
No, but like from but like a fan of concerts or music
okay,
or
okay,
whatever. Like Netflix is clearly trying to get people who don't even know BTS
Right.
to prove to them that BTS is a big deal.
Right.
They're trying to use screen time for that to
Yeah.
prove.
Yeah. So like Netflix themselves has to pick a lane. Like, which way are we going? And I think that was a disconnect, and now they're trying to fix it very quickly in like post-production here.
Which is pretty
Can't please
impressive if you
both.
think about it. Like, but you can establish like hugeness when they're like,
Yeah,
They're
yes, there are
trying
ways
in
to
the-
do it.
yeah.
I think it's tricky, and we're again, they're paving the way. I think they're going to set things up for the next time Netflix does a live streaming thing. That I think
Yeah.
they're going to be better prepared. Honestly, next time they do this, but
Yes.
I think like overall, I would say the concert was Daebak, but there were. I think we can all whine and complain about Butter, Dynamite.
Oh God. Yeah.
I felt like those were required, but
they have to
shoehorned in.
because that's who.
Who
That's
funded this?
Yes. No, I'm serious. Like that's
Uh-huh.
that's the general public. That's all they
corporate
know of it, right?
overlords.
Like they have to do that,
I guess
and you have.
you should have played like 10 seconds.
I know.
yeah,
Like,
I would prefer a medley, right? Of like
Yeah.
an abbreviated, abridged medley of all of the Permission to Dance, Butter, Dynamite, whatever else
no,
is.
Permission
like
to
the
Dance
West
was not
Check.
included, and
Done.
it should
Okay,
never
okay.
be included in anything.
Okay, we're gonna
Korean.
pretend that song doesn't exist.
Yeah.
I think like overall in terms of that concert, like what I most liked about it was like obviously the very beginning. We all huge fans of Body Body as we discussed earlier. But what stood out to me about that is that they were providing their comeback on their own terms. So it was like in Korea rather than a Dynamite Western era venue. You have Pansori singing at the OG temple here,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And it going along with the audio, sorry, mispronouncing it again,
Yeah.
theme. Like I thought that was very poetic, and Body Body was a very good intro.
Also, their outfits.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
outfits designed by Song Zio were reimaginings of traditional Korean hanbok from the Chosun era. I loved their outfits so much.
I mean that's a yes and a no for me. Like yes, I like the spirit and the intention and the art of their outfits. The no for me was like but like it's hiding the physicality of their movement, especially the ones that are very
Yeah.
demanding.
True.
But so like, it's a mixed bag for that for me. Like, which way do we want to go?
very baggy outfits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught it. This is a Easter egg that I just want to call out for Faya in that song. Namjoon, he hurt his foot, but there's a scene. If you pay attention, you can see him hopping on one foot.
Yes, I caught that.
It's so funny. And then there's another.
I'm sure his doctor did not want him.
Well,
doing
he was
that.
hopping on the other foot. Okay, he wasn't.
I know,
hopping on
but
the
still,
broken.
Yeah.
but he could have like fallen.
Right. Well, yes, that's true. But like, the other thing was, I love how Suga's, like he was starting to speak in English, right? And then what happened is the teleprompter cut out. And then he has switched to Korean because he does not fuck with English.
Like, nah.
And then
screw this.
Jin could not stop laughing for like 3 business days. Like he was like, if you see all the fan cams, he's just dying.
Because he knows what happened.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And like, yes. And like, even though I contend that Suga is secretly fluent in English, he's not going to be speaking it extemporaneously.
He understands a lot.
Yeah.
more than
But
he
he's
can
not going to be like,
speak.
and I thought that was great. And I actually really thought, other than Butter being shoehorned in oddly, I thought the flow of the concert was really well done.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the flow was good. The only critique I have, like with the flow, well, aside from what we said with Butter and Dynamite, is like Microcosmos or
Microcosmos.
Microcosmos. Look, this is like a BTS Army like standby, right?
Oh yeah.
And like, I if I can like give into my own ego and hubris a little bit, like when I DJ these like K-pop events, there are certain songs that that you want to play at a certain time of the night because they're going to hit a certain note for the crowd, right? It's like maybe they're like overly rehearsed, right? As a DJ, as a performer, but you just have to do it because it's like just gonna take the crowd energy and vibe from like point A to point B, right? And Microcosmos, like that feels like a trusted standby as a closer, right? And again, I love that song, but to me it was starting to feel a little over rehearsed in the sense like, oh, this is safe. Like, it's going to end well, but you've always ended with this
bone.
It was the PTD closer, right? It's the closer for that. And I think it was starting to be the closer if they had done the MOTS 7 tour. If they had done the MOTS 1 tour. Because
So Permission to Dance and MOTS is what again?
Map of the Soul. So Map of the Soul was the pandemic one, right? Like, and so I think if they were just going to do all new songs, they would have closed with Into the Sun, right? Because it's the same vibe. It's very CCM. It's very like truthfully, but I bet it's like, it's great to sing along to at a concert, right? Like, it's not something I would personally listen to ever, but like it's a good closer. But I think it's too new, so it doesn't capture that feeling. So you have to like because personally I thought they would have played Spring Day because it is, but it would have killed the vibe. And also in Korea, it's a political statement, right? Because it was a song about commenting on the Sewol Ferry. So so even though I expected them to play Spring Day, they would not have, because they would have killed the momentum.
No,
right?
they wanted to keep it at a certain level.
Right,
so Microcosmos is, I agree with you, Peter, that it is very safe, but it is probably one of their better closers because it is recent enough to
like I was saying,
over
note for note, like in vibe for vibe, it's gonna hit exactly what you want. But it's like it almost feels a little too overused.
Yeah, well, they should have done
it so well.
They should have done the trailer version of Microcosmos.
Okay,
because the trailer version, was like they introduced like minor chords. They introduced all the they introduced who does all the like music for Christopher Nolan movies with the
I know what you're talking about. I'm forgetting his name. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
right, like
Hans Christian Andersen.
Zimmerman or something like that.
Wow,
right.
Hans Zimmer, not Zimmerman. That's a different person. A very bad person. So like
That would have
needed to
been
end
more
on a major
interesting.
key, though. But,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like, just moving on though.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like the overall mixing and mastering of the event, again, it was better in the post-edited version. For me though, I felt like I was hearing just a little too much of the girls screaming, even though I know that was a reality there on the ground. What I did like though was hearing the fan chants, especially in BTS and Mic Drop. And like that if I'm going to hear audience voices, I would rather hear that over the screams.
Right.
Personally speaking.
But you know, of all the like live concerts or venues to do that, Korea or Japan is probably the best place to do that, because if it was in Brazil or Mexico or like choose one of the wilder destinations of like the US, you wouldn't be able to hear shit. Like if they would have to dampen it so hard, like what yeah, like isn't it like people who attended the CDMX concert for HYBE, they're like you couldn't, it was basically karaoke night. You could not hear HYBE
They're
at
the
all.
artists, yeah.
You know, so like considering
Okay.
like
No.
it could have been so much worse.
Yeah, sure. It could be worse.
Yeah.
The other thing,
imagine
But
them
for
barking.
this was their shot
Yeah.
though.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is their one comeback. They're not going to have this again.
The barking.
And so the bar is high.
yeah, barking is another story. I think the other, like, I know they had, sorry to keep bringing it back to like Butter and Dynamite. I know they had to do that for like the Netflix at home streamers, but in their home, in front of a palace, like on the King's Road in Korea, that's when you speak in Korean. Like that's when you be like more authentic. You know, because like a lot of these English lyrics, and I hate to say it, a lot of these English lyrics in the album, and especially in BTS and Butter and Dynamite,
The bass line slaps so rude.
well, no.
Chopped and screwed.
When I'm just saying, like the English lyrics just don't feel as authentic, and
That's
don't
because they
have
probably didn't
that
write them.
They don't hit as hard.
right. So, like, of all places to be like hella Korean. And like the like Korean cultural capital of like Korea, like that's where you like plant your flag and be unapologetically Korean.
They should have done fucking dang, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Oh,
that's
that would
the
be a
thing.
chance to do it. Yeah.
Arirang is not a dang album. It's not a
Yeah.
No, it totally is a
Digita.
dang album. The first four
is,
tracks
it
are
is.
dang albums.
in the first few tracks. But then we hit the bell and then we switch.
Right, but the dang could have been at the beginning. We didn't have
Yeah.
to end with dang.
Oh, the crowd would have gone
right? Like if they
crazy.
did a fucking cipher medley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted that so bad.
Well, one could argue that Suga and HYBE already did that, and I was like, yes,
Yeah.
but more.
You know, if we could have like, if I could like rewrite history, what we should have had is like, maybe it starts off like really happy, and then we just like use all the subversive like K-pop or BTS Army songs, like, you know, Silver Spoon,
Bensei.
Bensei, and like, you know, the Cybers and all of that, and then it just ends in a protest march. like the entire crowd like stands
March
up
on
and
the
then
Blue
they
House
start
or
marching
whatever,
to
It ends
like
on
the
fucking
Capitol.
Hegum.
Yeah,
That's what they
Hagen.
would have liked to have happened, you know?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And then they
society
were
overdone.
disinvited from Korea forever.
Yeah, but who
Great.
cares, right? Like they are the national treasure
No, the
anyway.
people
so.
would love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I think let's
wrap
let's-
it there.
Oh,
let's
did we
wrap it.
Daebak or not the actual album?
That was gonna
Or-
say
Oh,
was
We
Arirang
could.
Daebak.
Yeah,
'Cause-
Daebak.
Yeah, I'd stay back.
yeah. Daebak. Oh, you're gonna say that?
She's gonna say no.
I will say it is not. I'm not saying that it.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get into it. I'll be honest, but I think it was because I was sold a album of Dang and Dechwita and Gugak and all of that. That's what I was sold when I hit play.
yeah.
And while I love the first half, because again I'm a BTS hip hop fan, this was not the album I was sold. I wanted experimental. I wanted to feel like
like
I pressed
traditional
play and
instruments,
I could immediately see the album in a
Yeah.
handbook. Like that's what I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? I
Yeah,
have
you know-
multiple friends who agree with you. They're like, you know what? BTS sold this album as experimental, and this is not experimental, and like some of this is recycled, and fucking
Yeah. So
Ryan
while
Tedder,
I sat with it,
fingerprints
and
are
again,
on
like I
everything.
have my own hit replays. I'm gonna stand 10 toes in my knot with this album just for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need
No,
more
there's
body to
there's a
body.
lot of people who agree
I hear
with
you.
There's a lot of people who agree with you.
And I also want to come out ahead of like something I'm hearing online, discourse bringing up like Orientalism, bringing up like, oh, well, you Americans have no right to judge whether they're expressing their Korean-ness or not. Like you want to see them in traditional dress, and that's like it's an Orientalist projection you have of who Koreans are and like what
I probably
real
have that
authenticity and it's like like none of us on this call are Korean. Like we do have an American perspective where we want, like a lot of us go to K-pop to like see ourselves reflected, but specifically to see something different. Yes. And the way I connect to it is like, remember last year the video of the Maori haka demonstration in the New Zealand Parliament?
Yeah.
Right? Like what we all felt connecting to that authentic expression of culture, like it's striking a chord within us and our own cultures. Like you said, lift every voice and sing. Like that's what we want. We want something that feels like family of the global, like heart to heart, hand in hand, like be who you truly are and represent like your people in the way that looks and feels to you. I think we, especially as Americans, are hungry for that. We have a disconnect to our ancient indigenous traditions. I think all of us do. Yeah. And so that's something that we're longing for. And maybe, yes, we do project that longing onto K-pop artists. But it's coming from an authentic longing place.
Yeah. Thank you, Stephanie.
I will say,
I feel like that helped save me a little bit with
no, but PD Nim, I would say that your criticism is actually very valid.
Yeah.
Right? It's super valid. And I far prefer this based on like expectations set from press releases and like commentary about the music, and than people who are saying like the people who are like upset because the music is too black. Again, it's a certain type of fan, right? Who want the BTS.
And you can never quite tell who you're talking to.
Yeah.
People are writing comments and stuff. You don't know where they're coming from on that. That's so true.
And so I far prefer the actual criticism based on like, hey, they said they were going to be experimental. This is not experimental. Hey, this is clearly so and so. This is you're working with fucking Ryan Tedder. It's not going to be experimental, right?
Right.
And I really like Ryan Tedder's stuff, so I'm not like but a lot of people don't, I think it's a valid critique, and I don't like it when people are like I found it wild that so much of the discourse prior to the drop was, if you don't like the album, keep your mouth shut. We shouldn't criticize things. We should.
You're not a real army.
Yeah, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Do you think BTS wants a bunch of robots? Do you think like
that's what the fandoms want. That's what the fandoms do think. Yes, correct.
But that's but like, and also like, do you think that serves BTS as a group if you're just a PR mouthpiece? And like, do you? And if you're going to say BTS has agency, you can't infantilize them and say we can't hurt their feelings. We can't say this and that. Like, charting goals is great, but chart good music. Like, like I don't like, you're not helping BTS if you coddle them. And so I far prefer like good faith discourse and disagreement than like
disingenuous bad faith
or the kind of criticism that is rooted in anti-blackness, rooted in xenophobia, rooted in like anything that tears people down, right? Like I think there's a difference between that like expectation of what is Asian, what is Korean, what is appropriation. No, actually,
Yeah.
that I find good faithish. like because it is, appropriative. but then apply that to everything, right? Like call rock and roll appropriative, because it is. So yeah, I like this.
standards.
It'll be really interesting to watch this documentary that's coming out.
that's
I'm
really
so
good.
excited to watch it.
So
I get
let's shift to like what's next.
Yeah.
What do we have to look forward to?
There's the documentary directed by Bao Nguyen, and he's a very well-known. He's like a famous Vietnamese American director, and I think his most well-known thing is, I forget what it's called, but like it explores like the
Stringer, the greatest night in pop. Mm-hmm.
The Stringers one is about the photograph of the Napalm Girl from the Vietnam War, and that was a huge thing. And so he's going to be. I get to interview him next week. I'm so excited.
Oh wow!
And
Congrats, Virginia.
And I'm so excited. I get to watch the documentary screener like early.
Wow, so special.
I'm so excited. But yeah, so that's the main thing I think out. And then they're going to be on Jimmy Kimmel.
Then we have the tour.
Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, Jimmy Kimmel.
Well,
we hate Jimmy Kimmel. I'm so sorry. We hate Jimmy Kimmel, but Jimmy Fallon. We also hate Jimmy Fallon. But for different reasons.
They are literally in New York now preparing for their Jimmy Fallon performance. There's two. So there's one song, and then the next episode after that will be a live performance of a different song.
Ooh.
Well, so it's probably going to be Swim, and I'm guessing maybe Body to Body. Who knows? I don't know what the main theory is on which songs they're going to be performing, at least when they're promoting in the U.S., but it'll be interesting to see what other songs they bring.
And then
there's a choice, and then there's the right choice. We all know what the right choice is, but okay.
And then there's going to be like the Goyang
Number 29.
Number 29 is the right choice.
Stephanie shared this meme earlier of like this YouTube or TikTok creator just like twerking to Chime 29, and like that's it. But
Yeah,
that would be not
it's
bad
Raffy.
either.
Shout out, he was
That's
hitting
awesome.
it. Yeah,
But yeah, so
Twerking to the
there's
bell.
there's also the 2 concert movies, the one in Korea, and then a week later, the one in Japan. So
And then finally, the biggest world tour of all time, Arirang World Tour, starting in a few weeks, April 2026. It's going for about 1 year. It's the largest tour BTS has ever had, with a projected 82 shows, 23 countries, projected 5 million attendance. It's set to be a huge moneymaker for HYBE, obviously. And, even comparing to a Western concert tour, it will potentially outperform Taylor Swift's most recent Eras tour globally.
And maybe commercially, because Taylor Swift puts a lot more money into production value than HYBE does. Sorry, I just had to say it.
Yeah.
Um,
And just to throw the numbers out there, so the Eras tour was officially at like a little over 140 shows and around 10 million in attendance. And while we said 5 million is anticipated for BTS's tour so far, there's all of Southeast Asia, all of like Hong Kong, Oceania. There's still dates to be yet announced. So we'll see how that
They're
goes.
still opening. Yeah, and they're adding shows, right? Like the demand for the Stanford campus. Like, also, what the hell? They're performing at Stanford? That's crazy.
Well,
so then, and they initially had 2 dates, and then they had to add a third date. Like, so there's probably going to add even more stops in other countries too.
yeah.
South
'cause
America.
people will pay anything.
South America stops. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
To these, yeah.
Like I went to the listening party at Amoeba in Berkeley for Arirang, and pretty much everyone I talked to there is going to multiple shows.
Yeah, I'm going to 5.
They're like,
that's
oh yeah,
how
I'm
it
going
is.
to both Stanford shows. Oh, I'm going to 3 shows. Like, whoa.
Well, Stephanie here is, or
I
Virginia
am
here.
going.
I meant to say Virginia is going on the tour as well. But
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going on the tour. You make it sound like I'm a groupie.
you're not Sugar's groupie. But
Oh my God. If he would
Am
just
I
ask.
wrong?
If he would just ask. I would still say no, because I don't feel like someone who I would love would want me to abandon my children.
All right.
okay.
But you're going to shows in multiple cities, Virginia.
Yes, but in California, so I can drive.
Oh, okay. You're doing the LA show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, my mom as well is going to both LA and Stanford dates.
Yeah.
Maybe this time I'll actually see her and I will actually respond to
Yes.
your text
We're
in
all
time.
Oh my
gonna be
gosh.
there.
Like an a-hole.
Yep. Peter and Joyce are going to be with me and my mom. Looking forward.
Yeah. So can we end this? But maybe can I just
Yeah.
say one last
Yes.
note on publicity?
Yes.
Yes.
Netflix is like killing it from like in terms of a game plan point of view. You can see how they try to stage pre-day and launch. And this is all about manufacturing multiple tentpole media cycles such that you have multiple hard news moments, each creating its own news cycle. And then in aggregate, over a sustained period of time of multiple news cycles, you penetrate mainstream consciousness. So that's what we're trying to get right now.
Yeah, so many of my Muggle friends
That's a good way to put it.
have been, I guess we're not supposed to like bring attention to that woman. But
whatever.
But Muggle is, I feel like, a very
The locals
term bigger than her.
if we
The
will.
locals.
Yes. Okay. Locals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have been all talking to me about it.
Yeah, the receptionist at my dance studio, she's like this baby army. She's like, oh yeah, I just started getting into BTS. I'm like, oh girl.
Oh, wow.
Oh, girl.
You have a lot to learn. All right, and on that note, I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yes.
Y'all, we have, gone up and down. The album, the concert, the tour, what it means. And we hope that we have given you, Kpopcast listeners, a better idea of the full context of what this moment means in K-pop and beyond. So let's wrap up letting our listeners know where they can find us on social medias. First, our special guest, Virginia. Where can we follow you and your work?
You can find me at the Mandarin Mama on Instagram or Threads or Blue Sky, I guess. And mandarinmama.com is my website, and also I think the YouTube channel. So
Hongbo the book.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm also an author of K-pop inspired women's fiction, romance, and fantasy. I have 2 books out in a K-pop series. So if you do like BTS or boy bands like them, it's like a Marvel universe / everything everywhere all at once / K-pop kind of multiverse dealy. So if you like that sort of thing.
Awesome. You can find me on Instagram at Catchlight27. What about Peter?
I'm at DJ Peter Lowe on all the things.
And I'm at PD Nim. I'm at PD Nim only on the Kpopcast Slack. You can find all of us on the Kpopcast Slack. And if you want to support the show, again, please consider joining our Ko-fi. Shout out to Chelsea H, Lady Sensa, Liz C, and our girl Dina. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.